remember is that there are a lot of bits and pieces and small and large screws that go in the camera. So always remember what those were and store them nicely to avoid losing them. Now let's take a look at the camera here. There are a number of electronic circuits in the camera, and there are connectors everywhere, like this one, a connector here, two connectors there, one connector here. This is actually a connector, and if you can see, there is a connector under the connector here. And if I flip the camera, and you can see the lens here, and if I remove the lens, you'll see the giant flash capacitor back here. Ow! Piece of shit! Apparently the flash capacitor is holding around free and rotated and mounted on the tail by piercing into the tail. And if you think the scene you just saw was so fake, lame and unreal, then let me show you my hand. This is a stab wound from many years ago when I tried to pierce open something with a knife and the knife tripped. And this volts. For example, if I connect my 12 volt supply here to the primary and charge it and then disconnect it, the voltage of the primary should jump up, creating a huge voltage on the secondary here that should create a spark. Let's try it out. There is nothing. Is there actually a voltage? Theory was right. Obviously there is high voltage on the secondary, but the problem is that that high voltage pulse period is so short. Wow, this is wild. You can see how far... It's a strange pain. It's as if somebody is stabbing your finger, but the blade, it doesn't stop there. It keeps going through your veins until it reaches your heart. I love it. By gluing these nails to it, let's look at its spark now. This gap is quite wide. Let me measure it for you. It's General Electron's easiest tool. Show you how well it works. First, without the anti-pay. If I can just pass it here. Always finish your wiring that's made of this DC brush. Using the knife is dangerous and will not work. I've seen some women back in Iran that burn their arm hair off on a stove, and I'm gonna try that. I have my lighter fuel here and my fire extinguisher in case anything goes wrong. Just put a dab of this and I'm ready to go. This is suffering. There's a stand that has to be securely placed into the hood hole. Shoot the box. I put the bullet in, and there's a switch here that acts like a trigger. So here we go. Well, it's always wise to aim away. Put the bullet in. Ow!
Boom, 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 boom.
100 ohm resistor to see how the waveform changes. Calculation shows having 170 volt across 100 ohm it burns your skin. Use pliers to hold the resistor. See, the output voltage drops, with very small ripples because there is a lot of filtering.
Oh my god!
Wow, I was holding that. I let it cool. The ceramic core takes a long time to cool down, and now the hell? The hell? Why bad things happen to good people? Shear lock! Long sparklers make my structure top heavy, which I leave a bunch of safety tips on my website. Don't do it. Kind of works. It's a little bit weak though. A strong drill battery can convert to the two double A's that are 3 volts total. It's gonna give it the that it needs. Never do stupid that you will regret for the rest of your one side and only touch one of the AC lines. See the to the inverter. Anytime you connect the power harness, connect it to your load side first so you wouldn't short shock yourself. here that I can feel. So it's impossible for this to excite the fluorescent bulb. What the f? Now this string is one that I couldn't fix with turn on either. Let's try the taser now. Not to get too... Use the voltage a little bit. Okay, let's do 100 volts. Ready? Should be less painful. Okay. What the f is the current rising? Ow! It seems like oh yeah. Install GFCI in bathrooms. Oh my god. Finally, let's power it up. It's done. Let's turn it on and see how it looks. I like to put it on my tongue, but before that, I have to reduce the voltage to something like 1 volt than the skin. And still, if I short the power supply, I get the same 150 amps. Okay, you can see it still sparks. Let's try it out. What the f? I thought I set it to 1 volt. The whole seat is melted. So it's melted. Says eddy current can be